All right, let's jump right into a really cool story about how a public school district completely turned things around. We're talking about Florence City Schools in Alabama, and we're going to unpack exactly how they engineered a system that led to some seriously incredible results.
And it really all kicks off with this one number, 82.7%. So back in 2017, that was the percentage of high school seniors in their area who were considered ready for college and a career. Now that's a good number on its own, right? But here's the thing, it wasn't just good, it was the best in the entire state of Alabama. So you gotta ask, how on earth did they pull that off?
Because, as we're about to see, this story is about way more than just data points and fancy report cards. Their superintendent, Dr. Jimmy Shaw, he often brings up this quote from Maya Angelou, and it really gets to the heart of their philosophy. It's all about how you make people feel, the students, the teachers, everyone. That's the real engine behind those amazing numbers.
All right, so let's start with the what. Before we dig into the how and the why of it all, let's just take a look at the results. The impressive, confirmed by outsiders kind of results that really put Florence City Schools on the map.
And pretty soon the awards just started rolling in. By 2019, you had Niche.com, which, is all based on what actual students and parents think, ranking the district as number 2 for diversity, number 8 for being a great place to teach, and number 9 overall in the entire state. People were definitely starting to pay attention.
And hey, this wasn't just about public opinion polls. A super formal review back in 2018 from a group called Advanced TD, it totally backed up their high performance. I mean, look at this. Out of 31 different standards, the district exceeded expectations on 20 of them. And get this, they had 0 areas that needed improvement. 0. That's a pretty much perfect report card.
And it didn't stop there. This success showed up big time in their official state report card grades too. They snagged a coveted A grade in 2019 and have kept up those high marks ever since. So yeah, the results are clear, they're consistent, and they kind of demand an explanation, right?
So here's the really crucial point. None of this happened by accident. It was all built on a new foundation. And, in some cases, I mean that literally. So let's look at some of the real tangible things they built.
So, back in 2016, the district announces plans for a brand spanking new middle school. And this was a huge deal. It was so much more than just a new building. It was this big, visible, public statement that they were serious about the future. The design even won national awards. It was like they were planting a flag, signaling a whole new era was beginning.
But their investment went way beyond just brick and mortar. They also built these amazing, innovative programs that created direct pathways for students to succeed after school. You've got the Launch program, which is award-winning, that gets students into apprenticeships. Then there's the Early College program, and this is wild, where students can earn a full associate's degree before they even finish high school. And on top of that, their 12 for Life partnership plugs kids directly into real-world jobs. Just incredible stuff.
Okay, so let's peel back another layer here. We've seen the visible stuff, the shiny new projects. Now let's get into the invisible systems that actually make it all run. Because this is where the real design work happens.
And that, of course, brings up the big question, right? I mean, it's one thing to build shiny new buildings and cool programs, but how do you actually make them work? How do you make sure all this stuff leads to real, lasting improvement for every single student and every single teacher?
Well, the answer really lies in their game plan, their strategic framework, which is based on the Golden Circle. And the whole idea here is, instead of starting with what they were doing, they started with why. What's our purpose? What's our core belief? And for them, that why was simple, helping students become their absolute best selves.
Okay, so how do you take that big why and turn it into a how? Well, this is it. This is their instructional framework. Think of it like the master blueprint, the operational plan that connects every single thing they do, from a teacher's lesson plan to feedback from a principal, and ties it all directly back to that one single goal, improving student achievement.
But let's be real for a second. Putting a system this detailed into place is not easy at all. It creates friction. This quote here, it's from an actual text message. It shows you the kind of tension that comes up when you're this focused on the details. Look, big, meaningful change is hard. It's uncomfortable, and you have to be willing to push through that.
And all of this brings us right to the very center of that golden circle, to the foundational belief that guides every single decision they make, the why. And for Florence City Schools, that why is all wrapped up in a very specific philosophy of leadership.
It's called servant leadership. And listen, this is not just some corporate buzzword they threw around. This was the actual subject of Dr. Shaw's PhD dissertation. The core idea is super simple, but also super powerful.
The leader's #1 job is to serve the people in the organization, to lift them up, to empower them so that they can be the ones who succeed.
And Dr. Shaw breaks his own job down into 3 key roles. Number 1, a vision caster. His job is to paint a super clear picture of what greatness looks like. Number 2, a lead servant. His job is to give his team everything they need to make that vision a reality. And number 3, a lead learner. He has to be constantly learning and growing himself so he can pour that knowledge back into the team.
And you can see how perfectly this way of thinking lines up with the district's official mission statement. Just look at these words: empower, explore, create, challenge, innovate, lead. It's so clear, right? It's not about commanding from the top down. It's all about creating an environment where other people can flourish, starting, of course, with the students.
So after going through all of that, what's the big takeaway? What's the bottom line? It really comes down to the incredible and, honestly, sometimes humbling power of a well-designed system.
This quote from the great W. Edwards Deming really says it all. The entire story of Florence City Schools hangs on this one profound truth. The leaders there understood that the B grades they used to get, those average results, they weren't an accident. They were the direct product of the system they had. So if they wanted different results, they had to build a different system. Simple as that.
And this led to a huge realization. Just telling good teachers to work harder wasn't the answer. Think about it. If the system itself is broken, putting in more effort can actually make things worse. It just leads to burnout and frustration. So they knew they had to build a better system, not just ask more of the people stuck inside a bad one.
And that leads to this truth, which can be a tough one for any leader to swallow. A bad system will beat a good person every time. The structures you build, the processes you put in place, they have more power than any one person's individual talent. A broken system can wear down even the absolute best teacher, because at the end of the day, the system sets the rules of the game.
So the real challenge they embraced wasn't about trying to find a few superhero teachers, it was about building a powerful system that allowed ordinary people to achieve extraordinary success together. And that right there is the core lesson we can all take from Florence City Schools.
And that leaves us with one final, kind of provocative thought to chew on. Take a hard look at the results you see all around you, at your job, in your community, even in your own life. If that quote is right, if your system is perfectly designed to get the results you're getting, then what are your systems really designed to do?